Hello, I'm the fluffy member of Compiler Construction Assembly 1. Here, we present to you a detailed analysis of the Intel SVMD program compiler, or the ISPC. SVMD stands for Single Program Multiple Data. As from the name, it is clear that this compiler is based on the concept of parallelism. So let us first see why do we need such a compiler? Why ISPC? SIMD parallelism is the class of parallel computing paradigm which exploits the data level parallelism and not the concurrency. This paradigm has become very much important mechanism for boosting performances in the modern day computers. Unfortunately, the language of the compilers have not kept up with such a hardware capabilities, and parallelizing across SIMD vector lanes still remains difficult and requires laboriously writing intrusive code to generate desired instructions. Also, the CPU implementations of the GPU-oriented languages that support SIMD hardware, such as OpenCL, do not provide any systems for the SIMD parallelism within the code. Hence, there was a need of a language and compiler which implemented the SIMD programming and produced a high-performance SIMD programming compiler. Let us look on to the timeline. In 2005, the story of Intel's ISPC started with Larrabee or LRB, Intel's foray into building high-end GPU based on the 8086 architecture. For this, the compiler was built, which was based on the auto-vectorization concept. Auto-vectorization basically means that the program is converted from its scalar implementation to its vector implementation, that is, the operations is processed on multiple pair of operands at once. Then, in early 2010, a new compiler with changes into the old one came into existence, which was later boiled down to SVMD programming. In 2010, Matt Farr, along with Geoff Perry and Tim Ferry, started programming portable shading language compiler, which is highly specific language compiler for shading language. The idea of the compiler for a shading language created and it was taken up by a compiler for general purpose SVMD language, which was named as Volta. In early 2011, the backend was added to Volta, and on June 21, 2011, the code for Volta went live on GitHub with a new name, the ISPC. What is ISPC? Now, ISPC is a SVMD program compiler. It is open source and it is based on LLVM architecture for SIMD programming. It is not auto-vectorizing compiler. That is, it needs a user input to identify whether the program line is scalar or vector, whether it should be implemented in its scalar form or as a vector form. ISPC has explicit keywords for this implementation which are uniform and variable. The code written in this language looks sequential but executes in parallel. Language is supported by ISPC. ISPC is a compiler for a variant of C programming language which has extensions for SVMD programming. ISPC compiles ISPC language which runs on SIMD unit of CPUs and Intel Xeon Phi architecture. It boosts the speed up by 3 times on CPU with 4-byte sector SSE units and 5 to 6 times on CPU with 8-byte AVX vector units. Parallelization across multiple cores is also supported by ISPC, making it possible to write programs that achieve performance improvement and that scales by both number of cores and vector units. Now let us look at the architecture of ISPC. So the lexical analysis part of ISPC compiler is done using Flex for tokenization. Syntax analysis is done by Bison. Semantic analysis, that is type checking and few optimizations are done by the front end of the computer. As this is LLVM based computer architecture, LLVM performs additional set of optimizations and custom optimizations are performed by the compiler itself. Assembly code is again generated by the LLVM based architecture. So this is the rough structure of the front end of the ISPC compiler. So the outputs of the Flex specifications and the Bison specifications are fed into the semantic analyzer which checks for the semantics of the code, that is type checking, and then produces the .object file, and this .object file is fed into the intermediate code generator as input, which is again an LLVM based architecture. So the structure of the intermediate code generator is as follows. So object file are fed as input, which are input to the linker. Then the linker then provides its output to the native code generator, and these executables are then fed to CPU. So here optimizations are performed by the offline optimizer and the custom optimizer. So the custom optimizer will see further. Then the CPU provides the profile and trace information to the runtime optimizer, and the runtime optimizer in return provides the profile information to the optimizer, which is offline, for later optimizations. Moving on to the components of architecture. So the front end consists of parsing, tokenization, and type checking, as mentioned before. Then comes the inliners. So inliners are the components that mainly do the replace the function call site with the body of the called function. So as the name suggests, they inline the procedure. Then alias analysis, which is looking whether the storage location can be accessed in more than one way. Then arraysection. Then they also decide the code layout style. Then procedure cloning, which is into procedural optimization. Basically, the replication of procedures is done by the IPA. Then the dead function and variables are eliminated, and constant propagation, that is, the values of the variables, the constant assigned to the variables are maintained throughout the execution of the program. Then comes the loop list optimizer, which basically optimizes the loops So loop fusion, which means that the adjacent loops are fused into one loop to reduce the loop overhead and to improve the runtime performance. Then comes the loop fission, which basically means to split the loops in order to boost performance. Then unrolling, which is a loop transformation technique which removes or reduces the number of iterations by eliminating the loop control instructions and the test instructions. Then loop jamming, which is again joining two or more loops. Then loops are interchanged, that is exchange that the order of two iterations are exchanged in a nested loop. Then peeling, which is splitting data if any problematic conditions occur. So the problematic conditions are splitted and they are executed differently. Then comes tiling, when the vector data is prefetched and loop dependence analysis is done. The global loop optimizer does traditional optimizations along with SSA, that is static single assignments. Then comes the code generation part. Now the code generation has following levels. The first set of level is instruction selection, which determines an efficient way to express the input of LLVM code in the target instruction set. Then comes the scheduling and formation, which determines the ordering of the instructions. Then comes the SSA-based machine code optimization. So these optimizations are optional stage. It consists of a series of machine code optimizations that operate on the SSA produced by the instruction set selectors. Then comes the register allocation. This is one of the important tasks, which introduces the spill code, that is the code consisting of the load and store instructions, and eliminates all the virtual register references from the program. Then comes the prologue or epilogue code insertion. So this removes the frame pointers, that is the pointers to the frame registers, and the stack packing is done at this stage. Then comes the late machine code optimization. So the optimizations which are so called to be performed in the final machine code stage, such as on the spill code stage, are implemented here, and the optimizations are spill code scheduling. That is the instructions are scheduled, that which instruction should be executed when is decided by the spill code scheduling optimization. And the peak hole optimization, that is if any problematic code or the problematic section of the code occurs, then it has to be treated differently. This is done to the peak hole optimizations. Then comes the code emission. So code emission is basically putting out the code for the current function for which the code is generated. Then comes the representations and their implementations. So the symbol table is implemented by sim.h and sim.cpp files. The symbol table basically consists of the lexi, token, and the source file position where the symbol was defined. Now, the output of the parser and the lexical analyzer is stored in the symbol table. So symbol table holds all the known symbols during parsing and compilation. The next comes the AST, or the abstract syntax tree. So AST.cpp and AST.h implement the general functionality related to abstract syntax tree and traversal of them. Then after the generation of AST, optimizations are done in this code itself. So AST is the representation used in the syntax analysis fields. Then comes the type checking and identification of the type of the variable. This is done using type.cpp and type.h. So as you can see on the left side, the class type implements these functionalities. Then comes the bitcode implementation. So bitcode library represents single bitcode library file. So bitcode is also one of the outputs of the compiler. Then comes the module.cpp and module.h. As mentioned before, it generates the output files, that is the object files or the ASM, that is assembly language output, bitcode text, and so on. So ISPC generates various outputs or the output file for the same source program. So here is the example of the machine code generated from the ISPC language code provided on the left hand side. So you can see all the machine instructions are generated. Then comes the target hardware. So before going into the target hardware, let us first see that what was the main goal of ISPC. It was to implement high efficiency on modern day CPU hardware, and so we need to look on some of the characteristics of this hardware that impact the language and compiler design. So they are multi-core and SIMD parallelism, then simultaneous execution of scalar and SIMD instructions. Then comes one program per counter, that is a scalar unit, and all lanes of the associated SIMD unit should share single hardware program counter. Then comes the single coherent memory. So all cores should share a single cache coherent address space and memory systems for both scalar and SIMD operations. Then comes the cross-lane SIMD operations. So SSE and AVX efficiently provide various cross-lane SIMD operations like swizzles. Then GPU generally provide weaker support for these operations, although they can be mimicked at lower performance by memory. Then comes the tightly defined execution order and the memory model. So the hardware which follow all these criteria are 128-bit wide SIMD on 8086 processor, which is called as SSE. Then 256-bit wide SIMD on Intel processor known as AVX, PowerPC processor called as Altivec, ARM processor called as Neon. Here comes the strength of ISPC. So as this is based on C, it is familiar, then it produces high quality SIMD code. It has ease of adoption with the existing software system. It is portable over all the CPUs. Then it is implemented on Windows, Linux and Mac, so it is portable across operating systems. Then debugging is done with standard tools and can generate code for multiple targets. Also, it can achieve speed up of about 3 times or 5 to 6 times as mentioned before. Then comes to the limitations. So basically it focuses more on 32-bit data type, and 64-bit data type for floats is ignored. Then it follows a static length of SIMD vector for each source code. So dynamic length proves to be more beneficial, which is not there in ISPC. Then embedding in C++, so there is no SPMD functionality available in C++ that will enable even the easier interop within the application code. So this is our team, myself, Shriya, Rashi, Prateek, and Utkarsh. So our references are mentioned here. And with that, we'd like to end the presentation. Thank you.